Golden brown, final to dress. To the edges, she's heading west. From far away, stays for a day. Never a frown. Not my last to live. Not my last to live. Not my last to live. Last to live.
Every setback is a secret rehearsal for your greatest comeback. Resilience is not a word, it is a battlefield. It is the silent war fought inside the mind when the world outside collapses. Imagine the moment when everything you built crumbles, the business fails, the relationship breaks, the dream shatters. Most people see the end. Resilient minds see the beginning. Resilience is the art of standing tall when the ground beneath you shakes. It is the refusal to let defeat define you. It is the invisible armor that whispers, "Rise again." When life hits hardest, resilience is the difference between those who stay down and those who rise stronger. It is not about avoiding pain, it is about transforming it. Pain becomes fuel. Loss becomes lesson. Failure becomes foundation. Resilience begins with mindset. The resilient person does not ask, "Why me?" but "What now?" That shift in language changes everything. It turns despair into direction. It turns collapse into construction. Think of an athlete who loses a championship. The crowd sees defeat. The resilient athlete sees training ground. He wakes up earlier, runs harder, and builds strength from the ashes of loss. His comeback is not accidental, it is engineered by resilience. Or imagine an entrepreneur facing bankruptcy. The critics laugh, the investors walk away, the headlines scream failure. But resilience refuses to surrender. She studies the mistakes, pivots the strategy, and launches again. The second empire is stronger because the first collapse taught her what no textbook could. Resilience is raw. It is sweaty, painful, and lonely. It is waking up when you don't want to. It is trying again when you have no guarantee of success. It is facing rejection and still believing in your worth. But resilience is also magnetic. Audiences click, watch, and stay because resilience is the story they crave. Everyone has setbacks. Everyone has scars. What people want to see is proof that scars can shine, that broken pieces can form masterpieces. Resilience is not glamorous in the moment. It is tears, silence, and struggle. But in hindsight, it is cinematic. It is the comeback montage, the dramatic rise, the powerful transformation. That is why resilience is high CTR content, because it is universal, emotional, and unforgettable. At its core, resilience is three things. Resilience is energy, every failure carries hidden fuel. The pain you feel today is the energy that powers tomorrow's victory. Resilience as identity, you are not your losses, you are your recovery. The world may label you by your failures, but resilience redefines you by your comebacks. Resilience as strategy, obstacles are not walls, they are stepping stones. Resilience is the strategy of turning setbacks into setups for success. Resilience thrives in silence. It is not announced, it is lived. It is the quiet decision to try again, the hidden discipline to keep moving, the invisible courage to believe when no one else does. The resilient person is not superhuman. They cry, they break, they doubt. But they rise anyway. That is resilience, not perfection, but persistence. Resilience is contagious. When one person rises after defeat, others believe they can too. The athlete inspires the team. The entrepreneur inspires the industry. The parent inspires the family. Resilience spreads like fire, igniting hope in everyone who witnesses it. Resilience is timeless. Every generation has faced collapse, wars, crises, losses. And every generation has risen again. Resilience is the thread that connects humanity across centuries. The thrill of resilience lies in suspense. Will they rise? Will they rebuild? Will they transform? The audience stays because they want to see the answer. And the answer, always, is yes. Resilience is not about bouncing back to where you were. It is about bouncing forward to where you were meant to be. The setback is not a detour, it is the path. Resilience is the hidden rehearsal for greatness. Every failure is practice. Every loss is training. Every collapse is preparation. The comeback is not luck, it is the result of resilience. So when the ground shakes, when the walls fall, when the dream breaks, remember, resilience is waiting. It is the voice inside that says, "This is not the end. This is the beginning." Resilience is the secret rehearsal for your greatest comeback. And the world is waiting to watch it. Resilience deepens when the storm intensifies. Survival is not enough, adaptation becomes the next battlefield. Picture a tree in a hurricane. The rigid branches snap, but the flexible ones bend and survive. Human resilience works the same way. Adaptation is not surrender, it is strategy. Resilient minds know that setbacks are not permanent walls, they are shifting winds. The secret is flexibility, bending without breaking, adjusting without losing direction, pivoting without abandoning vision. Flexibility in thought. Resilient people change their plans without losing their purpose. When one door closes, they don't stare at it, they look for another. They don't cling to outdated strategies, they reinvent. The ability to pivot is the hallmark of resilience. Flexibility in emotion. Resilience allows grief but prevents drowning. It accepts pain but refuses paralysis. The resilient person cries, feels, and acknowledges loss, but then rises. Emotional flexibility is the art of holding sadness in one hand and hope in the other. Flexibility in action. Resilience is movement. When one method fails, another is tried. When one path collapses, another is carved. Resilient individuals don't resist change, they ride it. They pivot careers, reframe failures, and reinvent identities. Their secret is not strength alone, but adaptability. Cinematic storytelling thrives here, the moment when someone chooses to pivot instead of collapse. The thrill is not in the setback, but in the reinvention. Imagine the entrepreneur whose product fails. Instead of quitting, she studies the market, shifts her design, and relaunches. The audience clicks because they crave proof that failure can be fuel. Picture the athlete who suffers injury. Instead of surrendering, he adapts his training, rebuilds his body, and returns stronger. The suspense lies in the question, will he rise again? The answer is yes, but the thrill lies in watching how. Adaptation is resilience in motion. It is the refusal to be rigid. It is the courage to bend, the wisdom to adjust, and the strength to continue. Resilience thrives in adaptation because life is unpredictable. Plans collapse, markets shift, relationships change. The rigid break, the flexible survive. Adaptation is not weakness. It is intelligence. It is the ability to see reality clearly and respond creatively. It is the art of turning chaos into opportunity. Resilient individuals don't fear change, they embrace it. They know that every storm carries hidden lessons, every collapse hides new paths, every failure conceals fresh beginnings. Adaptation is the cinematic turning point. It is the moment when the hero chooses reinvention over defeat. It is the scene that makes audiences lean forward, click, and stay. Resilience here is magnetic. It is the teacher who changes methods to reach struggling students. It is the parent who adapts to new challenges with patience. It is the leader who pivots strategy to save the team. Adaptation is resilience in action. It is the proof that survival is not enough, growth is possible. Resilience is not about bouncing back to the same place. It is about bouncing forward to a new place. Adaptation is the bridge between collapse and comeback. The thrill of resilience lies in suspense. Will they adapt? Will they pivot? Will they rise? The audience stays because they want to see the answer. And the answer, always, is yes. Resilience is the refusal to be defeated by change. It is the decision to bend, adjust, and continue. It is the art of turning storms into strength. Adaptation is resilience's second heartbeat. Without it, survival is temporary. With it, survival becomes transformation. So when the storm intensifies, when the winds shift, when the path collapses, remember, resilience is waiting. It is the voice inside that says, bend, don't break. Adjust, don't quit. Rise, don't fall. Resilience deepens when adaptation begins. And adaptation is the rehearsal for transformation. Resilience evolves into transformation. Survival and adaptation are powerful, but the true test of resilience is reconstruction, the ability to rebuild stronger foundations after collapse. Collapse is not the end, it is the blueprint for something greater. The resilient mind does not simply recover, it redesigns. It does not return to the old structure, it builds a new one. Reconstruction of identity. Resilience begins by reshaping how you see yourself. Setbacks often whisper, "You are broken." Reconstruction replies, "You are becoming." Identity is not defined by failure, it is defined by recovery. Resilient individuals rebuild their self-image around strength, not scars. They see themselves not as victims, but as survivors, creators, leaders. Reconstruction of purpose. Pain without meaning is unbearable. Resilience transforms pain into purpose. The entrepreneur who lost everything now builds to inspire others. The athlete who faced injury now trains to mentor the next generation. The parent who endured grief now advocates for hope. Purpose is the fuel that makes reconstruction possible. Without it, collapse remains collapse. With it, collapse becomes catalyst. Reconstruction of future. Resilience is forward-looking. It does not cling to the past, it designs the future. New goals emerge from old failures. New strategies rise from broken plans. New dreams are born from shattered ones. The resilient person does not ask, "How do I return to what I lost?" They ask, "How do I build something greater?" Cinematic storytelling thrives here. Picture the survivor standing among ruins, not crying over what is gone, but sketching plans for what will rise. The suspense is magnetic. Will they rebuild? Will they rise stronger? The audience clicks because they crave proof that broken pieces can form masterpieces. Resilience here is magnetic. It is the artist painting after tragedy, the leader rebuilding after collapse, the survivor turning scars into strength. Reconstruction is not easy. It is heavy, slow, and painful. But it is also thrilling. Every brick laid is proof of resilience. Every plan drawn is evidence of strength. Every step forward is a declaration, "I am not finished." Resilience transforms collapse into construction. It turns ruins into foundations. It turns scars into symbols. It turns endings into beginnings. The thrill of resilience lies in suspense. Will they rebuild? Will they transform? Will they rise stronger? The audience stays because they want to see the answer. And the answer, always, is yes. Resilience is not about bouncing back to the same place. It is about bouncing forward to a new place. Reconstruction is the bridge between collapse and comeback. Reconstruction is resilience's third heartbeat. Without it, survival is temporary. With it, survival becomes transformation. So when the walls fall, when the dreams break, when the path collapses, remember, resilience is waiting. It is the voice inside that says, rebuild, redesign, rise stronger. Resilience evolves into transformation. And transformation is the rehearsal for legacy. Resilience reaches its highest form when it becomes legacy. Survival was the first step. Adaptation was the second. Reconstruction was the third. But the final stage of resilience is impact, the ability to inspire others through your strength. Resilience is no longer about one person rising. It becomes about communities, families, and generations rising together. The resilient individual transforms into a resilient leader, and resilience itself becomes contagious. Legacy of hope. Resilience creates hope where despair once lived. The survivor who rises after tragedy becomes proof that healing is possible. The entrepreneur who rebuilds after collapse becomes proof that success can be reborn. The parent who endures grief becomes proof that love can outlast loss. Hope spreads when resilience is visible. People click, watch, and stay because they want to believe that their own setbacks can also become comebacks. Legacy of leadership. Resilience inspires teams, families, and communities. Leaders who practice resilience guide others through storms. Parents who embody resilience teach children to rise stronger. Teachers who model resilience show students that failure is not final. Leadership is not about avoiding collapse, it is about showing others how to rise after it. Legacy of impact. Resilience transforms personal recovery into collective empowerment. Survivors become advocates. Entrepreneurs become mentors. Athletes become coaches. Impact is the final gift of resilience. It is the proof that your comeback is not just for you, it is for everyone watching. Cinematic storytelling thrives here. Picture the survivor speaking to an audience, scars visible but strength glowing. The suspense is magnetic. Will they inspire others? Will their resilience spark change? The audience clicks because they crave proof that resilience can ripple outward. Resilience here is magnetic. It is the leader inspiring a team, the parent guiding a child, the community rebuilding together. Resilience as legacy is not about bouncing back. It is about lifting others as you rise. It is about turning your comeback into a movement. The thrill of resilience lies in suspense. Will it spread? Will it inspire? Will it transform? The audience stays because they want to see the answer. And the answer, always, is yes. Resilience is not finished when you rise. It is finished when you help others rise. Resilience is the invisible force that transforms societies. It is the hidden energy that rebuilds nations. It is the silent power that creates movements. Resilience as legacy is timeless. Every generation has faced collapse. Every generation has risen again. And every generation has been inspired by those who rose before them. So when you rise, remember, your resilience is not just for you. It is for everyone watching. It is for everyone waiting. It is for everyone who believes they cannot rise, until they see you do it. Resilience becomes legacy when your comeback becomes someone else's courage. Resilience is not just survival, it is transformation. If this message inspired you, click subscribe to Wellness Within USA right now. Share this video with someone who needs strength today, and comment below how resilience has shaped your journey. Together, we can build a global movement of comeback stories, proving that every setback is only the beginning of a greater rise.